Hey guys, sorry for the delay. I was planning to pump out a video earlier, but after doing more testing, eventually all the materials that I did have planned out to release became outdated, so I had to redo a lot of my testing again. Anyways, in this video I'll be going through three main points. For Sands of Eons, is Elemental Mastery or Attack better? What's better, Wanderers or Gladiators 2-piece set? And the assumed Hydro set. Will this benefit Mona? I'm not amazing with maths, but I'll just like to give a nice thank you to BakaSky Gaming for putting a video tutorial together on how to construct a damage simulation on Excel. Their video is in the description below, and I win to lose for checking out my Elemental Mastery calculation. He is currently working on a damage calculator, which he will eventually release soon. So let's dive in. So for Sands of Eons, is Elemental Mastery or Attack better? So I've tested with my Mona at level 90 using a level 90 Skyward Atlas. I recorded her stats and also have taken into consideration the test subject, which is a level 83 Ruin Guard. So here is the Excel spreadsheet. So these numbers are semi-accurate, and I've recorded some footage to show you guys. In the third column, the total attack is 3,503. This would be Mona's attack when being influenced by Bennett's buff. We can see in the Excel sheet that it's calculated quite close to the tested result. So this is relatively good enough to now predetermine what's better for Sands of Eons. So now I'm going to go through two different scenarios for the Sands of Eons Elemental Mastery. One being the comparison between my Sands of Eons, and the other is in an ideal world, if I were to achieve a Sands of Eons Elemental Mastery with the same substats as my attack percentage of Sands of Eons, how much damage would I be achieving? So let's take into account subtracting the stats from my attack Sands and importing the Elemental Mastery Sands into the second box here. We can see there's a difference in the damage calculations. I know for a fact that my Elemental Mastery Sands provides less than my attack Sands, just because the substats that I have on my Elemental Mastery Sands is really bad. This is probably why I usually stick with attack Sands. But now, if in an ideal world, if I were to achieve an Elemental Mastery Sands with the same substats as my attack Sands, we can now see there's an increase in the damage calculation for Vaporize damage. This is also a Photoshop image. So it's quite clear that if you want to increase your Vaporize damage for Mona, you go with an Elemental Mastery Sands. So what to choose, a 2-piece Gladiator or a 2-piece Wanderers set for Mona? Basically it's quite clear that Wanderers will provide Mona with more Vaporize damage. Through these calculated results, the substats remain the same. To determine which set bonuses you would be benefiting from, basically all comes down to your substats. This plays an important part, which you will need to test it out yourself to determine which artifact pieces will provide you the most damage. But ideally, Wanderers is better just to push out more elemental reaction damage, and Gladiators is good for increasing your attack and increasing your raw hydro damage for Mona. As of 1.1, let's assume the 2-piece hydro set provides an additional 15% hydro damage increase, and would Mona really benefit from using this set? So I did a few calculations. All substats remained the same. The only thing that I really changed was the values for the 2-piece set bonuses. So here are the 3 set bonuses that I've calculated for. So let's start with the Hydro Gladiator set. I factored out Nobilise's bonus from the calculations. So we can see there is a loss in elemental burst damage. However, we can see there's an increase in normal attack damage if we compare this to my current set. For Hydro and Wanderers set, I factored out the Nobilise bonus from the calculations. We can see in comparison with my current Mona set, the 2-piece Glad and the 2-piece Nobilise, that it is providing more Vaporize damage, but the 2-piece Hydro set and the 2-piece Wanderers is providing less raw hydro damage overall. As of now, in 1.1, 2-piece Nobilise and a 2-piece Wanderers provides the most vaporized damage. If I were to compare this finally now with the 2-piece Hydro and the 2-piece Nobilise set, we can see there's an increase in hydro damage for normal, charged and elemental burst attacks. However, in terms of vaporized damage, it won't be able to achieve as close as a 2-piece Wanderers and 2-piece Nobilise set. The weirdest thing about this is that a 2-piece Gladiators and a 2-piece Nobilise, which I currently have, this set bonus is just overall better than a 2-piece Hydro and a 2-piece Nobilise set, which was actually what I was intending to go for. However, this doesn't necessarily mean that the Hydro set is not amazing. If I do achieve better substats with my Hydro artifacts, I would probably just switch over to that, because as I mentioned before, substats in the artifacts pieces plays an important part in maximizing your damage output. So whether or not to go with the Hydro set, it all varies, but if you're looking to maximize the amount of vaporized damage, I would suggest to continue using the Nobilise and Wanderers set. But if you want to change it up a bit and increase Mona's overall raw hydro damage for both her normal charge and elemental burst attacks, then you may want to start considering the hydro pieces. So if this confuses you in determining whether or not you should go for a 2-piece hydro artifact set, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you're not really concerned about the damage losses between set bonuses. Just get really good substats on your artifact pieces. But if you're looking to maximize the amount of potential you want for Mona, that being just simply raw hydro damage or maximizing the vaporized damage, then you may want to consider running certain sets, such as the 2-piece Nobilise with 2-piece Wanderers for a higher vaporized damage output.